It's the Daily Beat on KBEY 103.9. I'm Ben Shields, hanging out with DailyTrib.com news editor Dakota Morrissiey. And like we do every Friday, taking a look back at all the news happening in the Highland Lakes. And Dakota, you had another busy week. What you been working on?
Man, we're following up on elections. We got Election Day on Saturday. The weather's nice. There's a lot of big events coming up. A lot to follow up, but it's all good.
And it seems like it's the spring of rock crushers.
Yes.
Every week we're talking about something rock crusher, and this week we're talking about another bill that has been filed. So what's this bill about?
Yes, this is the second bill that's going to the state level, the state legislature. We had Ellen Troxclair, our current rep, who filed her own bill saying we don't think anybody should be able to put a rock quarry within, if there's state parks and, public waters and children's summer camps within 4-mile radius, for example. That bill is still pending, but another bill just got filed by our former rep, Terry Wilson, who still has strong ties to Burnet County. He pitched a very similar bill last week, which essentially was saying the same thing, but just with some more details, trying to make it specific to our area. So he went and he pitched that at the state level to the House committee, and a bunch of Burnet County residents went out there to support the bill. There's a lot of people fighting really hard to try to stop this quarry from happening, from our local, neighbors to our state reps.
Again, this is a proposed quarry off of Hoover Valley Road, and it's been something that's been in the work for a few months now, and there's been town hall meetings, and there's been all sorts of protests, people talking about this, and this has been happening since last year now. Yeah,
there's a lot of opposition to it. It's over 700 acres. People are worried about dust sort of blowing around the area. There's a kids' summer camp. They're just worried about, causing trouble with breathing. And plus just the sort of general blight. It's in a really scenic part of Burnet County, and you have these state parks just down the street from it, and people are just really opposed to this thing happening. Not trying to be biased, but we've just had so much negative feedback from our local residents on it.
All right, so you can keep updated on all the stuff happening with the rock crushers at DailyTrib.com, DailyTrib.com. And if you haven't done so, you can subscribe, DailyTrib.com/subscribe.
That's right.
All right, and another thing is the growth in Marble Falls. You don't need us to tell you that. Just drive on 281 in the middle of town on a Friday at about 4 or 5 o'clock, and you know that the population has definitely grown. And so you think it's even bigger than what we think?
Yes. So it's hard without a U.S. census to know exactly how many people live here.
Which is every 10 years.
Right, every 10 years. The next one isn't until 2030.
We're halfway there.
Right.
Okay.
We're halfway there. So the population signs at the edges of the town say about 6,000 people. And, we have people joking online, like there's that many people on the street at rush hour. And, they're kind of exaggerating, but kind of not. I listened to this presentation at City Council where their low guess is like 9,700, which is already higher than what they were predicting it would be, 2 or 3 years down the road.
Is this because of all the development just south of Marble Falls, the south part of town?
There's more than you even know. If you try to keep up with the number of developments, it's not just the ones that are already built. They added over 800 living units to Marble Falls this past year, and there's expected to be hundreds more. There's constantly in permitting or constantly being approved in some form of development, so they're using those the number of free spaces to live in as a way to kind of guess, well, how many people do we have or how many people could we have here?
And on top of that, the people living in Marble Falls, but also Marble Falls has always served as the hub of the Highland Lake, so you add that in too, and sometimes traffic can get a little backed up on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, so we need those exact numbers to start getting things moving, start changing, traffic patterns, getting help at the state level. So getting those exact numbers, I think, will be a big deal for us.
All right. So you can stay updated on the growth of Marble Falls, DailyTrib.com. And if you haven't subscribed, DailyTrib.com/subscribe. And the first weekend of May, it's going to be a busy one. Lots of stuff happening in the Highland Lakes. We've got the FiestaJam, which is already underway. You've got Howdy-Roo, which has moved to Granite Shoals this year. And what else am I missing?
Oh, you're missing FiestaJam.
FiestaJam, that's right.
So MayFest and FiestaJam have kind of combined this year, and like you said, that's already happening. But you got the big Mighty Thomas Carnival. Johnson Parks is going to be popping off this coming weekend. And of course, Howdy-Roo, which everybody knows is a long-standing Marble Falls tradition.
I think 53 years now.
Yeah, this is the 53rd year. It's moved down the road to Granite Shoals for a lot of reasons. More space, a little bit easier to run it there. And it's all in the memory of Ruby Ross this year, who recently passed away, unfortunately.
And this has taken place Quarry Park and Granite Shoals.
Quarry
Good spot
Park.
for it.
Oh, yeah. Quarry Park is huge. And that city, because of the eclipse, and they held the U.S. Junior Steer Wrestling Championship
a couple
there.
Years ago.
They really revamped that whole park and made it accessible for big trailers to come in, people to hook up their RVs. So that park has really become a hub. They had a Granite Fest recently as well. They held the Texas High School Barbecue Championship. Now they have Howdy-Roo, and I think that's only going to continue there.
I'm sure they're always looking for volunteer judges.
John Ortiz has tried to get me to come out there to be a judge every weekend, basically, this spring.
And I know we may have talked about this before, but beans, do you do your chili with or without beans?
You're going to get me canceled, man. Yeah. I like beans. I'm from Florida. I don't know if that means you put beans in your chili or not, but I put them in there.
Yeah, I think we may have talked to this when there was one in March in Granite Shoals. So I just like chili. Beans, no beans, give me chili, and I'm good to go.
Exactly. This is a bipartisan thing.
All right, so that's Howdy-Roo happening this weekend. Quarry Park and Granite Shoals, also FiestaJam, which is now underway through Saturday. All right, Dakota, anything else big we missed you want to chat about?
There's a lot of cool stuff, but you're going to have to go to DailyTrib.com to see it.
All right, DailyTrib.com. And if you haven't subscribed, DailyTrib.com/subscribe. All right, Dakota, we're done for this week, but we're going to be back in the saddle next week, okay?
That's right.
All right, it is the Daily Beat on KBEY 103.9.